What is going on, everybody? This is the Bi Friend Podcast, and I am Charles Rome. And this week on episode 6, we're going to talk about the bi spectrum. Hey, welcome to the show. Nice to see you again. So, like I said, this week we're going to talk about the bisexual spectrum. And what that is, it's a range of sexual orientation and attraction. It's what people are attracted to. It's not strictly gay, straight, or lesbian. That's not what it is. It's broader than that. It's wider than that. It celebrates fluidity, complexity, and the individuality in a person and what they enjoy. And I'm telling you, there is a lot to learn. When they talk about bisexuality, you often hear them say, "Oh, it's a split." It's not. It's not a full split, and it doesn't have to be a 50-50 split. Be a 70-30 split, a 20-80 split, a 90-10 split. It's different levels. It's not the same for everybody. And that's why it can be confusing at times. It can be just mind-boggling. Because for me, it's not like a split right down the middle. It also includes a person's attitude, because you can be an amazing looking person and have the worst attitude. Trust me, I've seen it. We've all seen it. That good looking person that you would rather just probably kick him in the chest. Well, let's get back to this so we don't digress. But that split can be any type of way. And like I said earlier, it is something that is fluid, ever changing. You like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's something that, honestly, I don't think of. If I enjoy the person, I enjoy the person. That's what it is. And to be very clear, being bisexual means that you have an attraction to more than one gender. Some bisexuals are attracted to all genders. And that's very true because people just think bisexuals just want it all. Yeah, they kind of do, but they can still be picky with what they like. It's not just we're some kind of wild sexual deviance. Definitely can be. If it calls for it, don't worry, Charles will do what it do. Now, here are a few variations, so to speak, if you were to look up the bisexual spectrum, you would see omnisexual, polysexual, pansexual. Now, I don't know a lot about these different orientations, but I will go over them and talk about it for a second. Omnisexual means you're attracted to all genders. So that's different attractions depending on the gender. Yeah, I get it. You're attracted to different genders, and it depends on the gender. Okay, that kind of, in a way, will encompass bisexuality. Then you have polysexual, which is many, but not all. All distinct, but overlapping. They have nuanced distinctions. Some may call that viewer's choice. So you have omnisexual, polysexual, and this is the one I have a few friends that are pansexual, and we've talked about it before, and we kind of laugh about it because the attraction of a pansexual person is regardless of gender. Some people say that they are gender blind and would rather go in talking to a person more because of their personality or their energy, more so than if they're male, female, or any of the other genders out there. So we kind of laughed about that because we're like, I mean, bisexuality is when you like more than one gender, right? I understand that there are males. I understand that there are females. I understand that there are males changing to females, females changing to males. You know, I might find something that I like in all of it. Maybe, potentially, but more so probably not. Because bisexuality doesn't mean that every single male, female, transgender looks good to me. Some, not all. That's the thing there. And there's that still gives me a lot of options. But that's the thing. It's not all. No, I don't want to go around and fuck my friends. No. You're not my type. Everybody is not a bisexual's type. They're not. They're just not. You want to call them gay? Call them gay. But you're probably not their type. Everybody has a type. And that doesn't change for me just because I like males and females. Not at all. I would say that my love is a little more fluid and the attractions can shift and it's not a solid state form. You know what I'm saying? There's wiggle room. That's what I'm trying to say. There's space to figure other stuff out. And I saw this one too. Someone said, bi curious, where you're questioning or exploring more than one gender. And I've already talked about this. I personally don't feel that this is some kind of bi curiosity. Again, I know who I am. I know what I've liked my entire life. That's the one cool thing I can say. I've known who I am from the beginning. Even if it was a weird, like thing to try and figure out, it may have been, yes. But guess what? I'm going to take my time and my efforts and better understand what is going on around me and just being safe because people are getting too crazy out in the world. It's wild. It's so wild. All right, I don't want to digress too much because I know I will. But if you wanted to go as and have a blanket statement, you could say all the bi people are queer. All gay people are queer. All lesbian people are queer. Yeah. But not all queer people are bi. So think about that. And it's a reclaimed term because you don't hear people say, oh, queer. You don't hear them say that too often in a good or bad light. Nobody really says it, but it is a blanket term. It's not specifically for anyone. You've heard of queer joy. which celebrates those little queer victories that we may have. That's what it is. When you are happy about something that is queer, you have that little smile. You're like, another little victory. There it is. And you keep moving and you use that happiness and that feeling of joy to propel yourself through life. Because we're just trying to survive. We're just trying to figure out the shit that we are doing in our lives and why we're doing it, and hopefully not destroy anybody else's lives. But what I've learned so far is that people definitely can be monsters of monsters. I think it's funny. Everybody's worried about, vampires and zombies and crazy shit like that. But you know what you should be worried about? Human beings. Because they can't mind their damn business. But that's what we're living in. And that's what I'm trying to navigate through. And a big thing that bisexual people have to worry about is biphobia. The prejudice, the fear, the hatred directed towards bisexual people, often manifesting as stereotypes or erasure of their identity. I'm going to do 2 episodes right here from what I just said in that sentence, those sentences right there. Stereotypes. I'm going to do a whole episode on stereotypes, which actually is going to be next week. And then there's also going to be an episode talking about bi erasure. Because when you tell a person something that they're not, they're going to go with it. They're going to say, maybe they're right. When the person isn't right, when the person should be minding their business. And just sometimes listening. That's what you should do. Shut your mouth and listen. But people can't do that. So I'm going to have 2 episodes talking about these different things because there's a lot of stereotypes. And there is a lot of bisexual erasure. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're not bi, you're gay. You're not bisexual. You like guys." Okay, I like guys and girls. So, I don't think that's gay, because I'm gonna guarantee you right now, a gay guy doesn't like what I like. How do I know that? I've got gay friends. We've talked about this. I've shown him pictures of beautiful, voluptuous women. And you know what he said? Yuck, not for me. You know what I said? Delicious. Give me 2 scoops. So don't you tell me you can't like this and that. It is possible. 100%. And people don't believe it. And maybe I feel like I should be that beacon of hope. Because also, another thing is that I have that ability to freely flow anywhere. Because I don't have that look. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't look at me and say, "Oh, he might like dudes." No, you would look at me and say, "Oh, that's a straight black male right there." But little do you know, little do you know, I like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Little column A, little column B. But really, here's what I like. I love my women to be thick and delicious. I like the guys that I'll talk to, I like them a little thinner. I like them to have really good vibes. I mean, I want the women to have good vibes too, but guys are weird and wild and sometimes just nasty. So you got to watch out there. But yeah, I like that. And then if you can mesh that together into a trans person, sign me up. And for all of this, male, female, trans, some, not all. Do you understand? That's how that works. Not everybody is attractive to me. There's a whole nother episode where I'm going to talk about femininity and masculinity. You got to stay tuned because we're going to have a good time. I've already told you 3 episodes that are going to happen. Stereotypes, by erasure, and again, femininity and masculinity. 3 episodes we got. Boom! So stay tuned. And I think the biggest trick with all of this is if you're going to be someone's friend and you say you're going to be their friend, then you should ask questions. But what you shouldn't do is question. Ask questions, don't question. Because life is hard for everybody right now. Don't think it's easy for anybody. Oh, I got $1 billion. Guess what? They have their own set of problems. Everybody does. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out my problems. And they're not really problems. It's life. It's a game. We're all playing a game that at the end of it, we disappear. You get your mark on the world and then you leave. You got to find out how to make it without being a piece of shit. And that's what I'm trying to do. Live life, learn life, and hopefully help someone along the lines. Because the hardest part about this is that I grew up without a support group. And it made things so damn difficult. I questioned everything. I messed up from time to time. It just, if I can help somebody and give them that support, that support where you don't have to stress. You just listen and they have some idea of what they're talking about and they can give you some sort of insight on how they have done it. And that's what I want to try and do. I want to help somebody because growing up in the early 90s, like you don't know. You're going through life young and dumb and you're just trying to figure it out. And it is scary as hell. So that's why I'm doing all of this. To hopefully help someone, but to help myself and to get my words out into the universe. Because words are very, very powerful and people do not take that seriously. You say something, it's in the universe. It's out there. Now there's a possibility of that becoming tangible. And sometimes you don't want that to happen. So hopefully I can get people to listen and get them to understand that people in the LGB community are just that. Fucking people. Human beings. We're all the same species. I don't understand why there is so much hate for something that you don't even understand. And I think that's where I'm going to end it today. And we'll do this next week. But this episode, I hope you learned something. I've learned something. I never really looked into the bi spectrum, but it is a lot. There is all types of shit going on in this spectrum. Come on, check it out. So to recap before I go, the bisexual spectrum is a range of sexual orientation in attraction. It's all about the attraction. What are you attracted to? Because guess what? You don't like everything. Nobody does. And that's why I think bisexuality is, when you're looking at it, I think pansexual, omnisexual, all that, poly, all that is, I feel like, think of a cup of coffee, like a cup of espresso. All those things are the coffee, and then they drip down into bisexuality, right? That concentrated craziness. But then, how did you get there? Because of all the different branches converged into this one drip called bisexuality. So, learn something. Go out, get on the internet, learn about the different spectrums in the bisexual spectrum, because I'm still going to do some learning. I don't understand all of it. It honestly all kind of sounds the same. But again, it's not the same, but different. That's people. That's what they've been saying about people for years. So, yeah, be safe out there, because the world is getting wilder. And I'm getting out of here. So I will see you next Friday. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for opening your mind and being cool to explore something new. And you're doing it with a friend. You have a bi friend. So bye, friend. I'll see you next Friday. You liked that, didn't you? I did too.